First of all, thank you very much to Proextra for such an amazing organization of this event. Thanks to Kayla, to Carla, to Eroica, well, to all organizers, because this is very important for all women. And well, going back to our panel regarding international initiatives connected to the market, please let me note that in November 2018, the Institute for Women and for Equal Opportunities in Spain presented the publication First Benchmarking on the Incorporation of Women in International Trade. This publication comparatively analyzes different initiatives, services, and programs launched by different organizations of international promotion in different countries. Their aim is to facilitate the incorporation of professional and businesswomen to international trade. The 4 institutions participating in this panel obtained the best marks within the study. Among the conclusions of the study, we have identified 5 lines of action of great interest from the perspective of gender and international trade. First, databases and directories of women-owned businesses. Second, international private contracting and certification programs for women-owned businesses. Third, national and international public procurement. 4, free trade agreements. And finally, platforms and collaborative initiatives. So we are going to talk about this just right now. Ana Claudia Zaleski Mori, ITC SheTrades Partnerships Officer and Project Manager. Anna, hello. What ITC initiatives do you consider most interesting for women entrepreneurs in the current situation? And the second question, what benefits can European entrepreneur have? I mean, someone who wants to market her products or services through SheTrades.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Teresa. Thank you so much for the invitation. Big pleasure. Good evening to all of you. Good afternoon to some of you, and good morning to some of you that are more towards the west. My name is Ana Mori, as Teresa mentioned. I work for the International Trade Center. For those that do not know who ITC is, we are a 50% agency of the United Nations and 50% agency of the World Trade Organization. We are based here in Switzerland, in Geneva, but we have operations in 150 countries. So our main goal at ITC is to reduce poverty. So we follow the mandate of the United Nations to reduce poverty, which is SDG #1, by helping SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, entrepreneurs, to increase the competitiveness of their businesses, to improve the quality of their products and services. And after we do that, we connect them to international markets, we connect them to regional markets, to national markets, or to investment opportunities. So we foster sustainable development. And we have been working in the market for more than 4 or 5 decades already, but it was really in 2015 that we decided to launch what we call SheTrades Initiative. Which I believe some of you already know. SheTrades has a very simple goal of connecting 3 million women to markets by 2021. But then some of you might be thinking, right, Anna, but why ITC, which is such a technical trade-related agency of the United Nations that bridges trade and development, is caring about women, about gender equality? We already have UN Women here. We already have so many other organizations, gender equality organizations, ILO working for equal labor standards. So why ITC is caring about that so much? It's because we know that women entrepreneurs, they reinvest up to 90% of their income back to the communities, educations, to their families, to their kids, compared to 40% of men. We know also that women entrepreneurs, they tend to operate in sectors that are less profitable. They tend to have businesses that are smaller. They tend to have different barriers to access trade, to access investment. And they are actually, out of 5 exporting companies, and we know that exporting companies are more profitable, only 1 of them is either led or owned by women. So that's why we decided, you know, that we needed to do something about it. And that's why we launched the She Trades Initiative. The She Trades Initiative basically has many projects across the globe, United Nations traditional projects, where we work with women entrepreneurs in the coffee sector, helping them really increase the productivity of the coffee beans. And then we connect them to national markets, to big companies such as Olam or Ili Cafe or Starbucks, etc. Doesn't matter. To companies that are working in IT, BPO in Bangladesh, or companies in Latin America and Mexico that are in textiles and garments. We continue doing this specific projects in countries, but we realized that we had many partners in this crazy ecosystem. We had many international organizations, we had many big corporations, Google, IBM, Procter & Gamble, name it, Mercedes, but also medium-sized enterprises in different countries that wanted to collaborate and do something to increase the participation of women in the economy. So then we decided back in 2015, we had a huge roundtable with 100 different private sector, public stakeholders, and we put together 7 areas of action that are the following. Number 1, quality data. We realized that, and we are working a lot with national governments, ministries of commerce, business support organizations, chambers of commerce. The other day, I was on a phone call with one of, it's the top shipping company in the world, I will not name it, but then I asked them, right, so do you have any idea of how many of your clients and customers that are asking for your services are companies that are owned by women? Or if whoever is requesting for services, which sectors are they focusing on? And what's the database of their employees database that is actually women or men, etc.? They have no clue. So we are really like championing that and providing our methodologies and data and specific questions to governments, also companies, so they can start thinking about what's the place of the women in the economy, so they can create programs, policies, supply diversity programs that make sense at the national different contexts. Number 2, which is our second area, which is fair trade policies. As I told you before, we are 50% WTO as well. So we are all the time here in Geneva talking with the members, talking with the states, talking about free trade agreements, etc. And we just launched 2 weeks ago one guide on how to mainstream gender when crafting free trade agreements. And we are doing this also at the national level. We are working in Zambia, we are working in Bangladesh, we are working in Mexico, trying to craft these policies that will impact the lives of women entrepreneurs, because one size does not fit all. Policies does not do not impact women as, you know, they impact men. Another area of work that we do a lot, you know, we push a lot of I would say our activities on that is public procurement. I believe in previous panels, some of the speakers already mentioned that governments, they are the big buyers of the world. They are purchasing more than $13 trillion of lamps, of desks, or everything, all services that you can imagine, and less than 3% of these services and products actually are being supplied by women-owned businesses. So we are also championing that. We are also doing this work. We realize also that in some countries like Kenya, or even in more developed countries like Chile, they do have specific quotas, preferential procurement agreements that say that, let's say, 30% of the public tenders should go to minorities or to women entrepreneurs. The law is there, the policy is there, but implementing is another job. And sometimes it's a question of whether that country has a definition of what is a woman-led business, what is a woman-owned business. And we are working with some key organizations, including the International Standards Organization and standards bodies across the globe, to come up with a set of definitions that will actually address this issue. And of course, we also have an initiative that fosters and help procurement officers to understand the strategies on how to make public tenders more accessible to women. I told you that women-owned businesses, they tend to be smaller. So some of the best practices that we often push is instead of releasing a $1 million contract, but not releasing 4 contracts of 250,000. So women-owned businesses that are smaller can bid for those as well. So this is another area. Another important area for us is, of course, connection to markets. And I can understand a bit of Spanish, but I'm not fluent. I'm Brazilian, and my Portuñol is not very good. But from the previous session, I was hearing very good, programs that you have. And at the global level, She Trades is this global initiative of the United Nations. What we try to do, we take women entrepreneurs to trade fairs across the globe. We organize B2Bs, we organize inward missions in different countries, but we also work a lot with corporations that have interesting supply diversity programs, and we connect our networks of hundreds of thousands of women entrepreneurs with these big buyers. But we also foster a lot of connections amongst the SMEs. What we realize is that women-owned businesses themselves, I remember we are working with a women entrepreneur in Morocco that was selling IT BPO services, and there was another woman entrepreneur in Colombia that was selling coffee, and we never thought that a business would come out of that. We are matching them with big buyers, but at the end of the day, they connected and they are doing business for the past 3 years. So it's about fostering this peer-to-peer conversation as well. A lot because of the pandemic, we realized that many businesses are shifting and selling online, right? So we want to make sure that our businesses that can be from European countries, Latin American, African countries, we have no regional focus. We are really a global initiative. We want to make sure that these women entrepreneurs, they have the right tools and skills to really be able to either go to big marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, with who we have close partnerships, or even to set up their first websites. Yeah. Another important area for us is capacity building. It's about training women entrepreneurs on packaging, on standards, on labeling, on leadership, on how to create your export strategy and all that. And we do this online. So we have more than 200 online courses that you can take and that you can get United Nations certificates. We have 2-week-long course online. We have 1 hour, or we have live webinars such as this one. And we do a lot of capacity building on site as well. I would just like, Teresa, to mention that in the next 3 weeks, we'll be launching what we are calling Uber for Coaching. Basically, if all of you go to shetrades.com, you take shetrades.com, it's available in French, Spanish, and English. You take a self-assessment that will tell you which are your weakness areas and weak areas and strong areas of your business, which are the areas that you should develop. It creates a roadmap for you. And after that, it pairs you with different coaches and mentors. So this is going to be launched in the next 3 weeks. We call Uber for mentoring, basically. And I would like to, share maybe later on. And my last area, I would say, it's access to finance. We, of course, understand the needs, and it's still the top barrier number 1. So we're working a lot in Latin America, in Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, Argentina, etc., but also in other countries. We have a network of like 35 investors, financial institutions, impact investors, and banks as well. And what we try to do, we not only teach these women entrepreneurs on how to fundraise. Sometimes some of them come, Anna, I need $500,000 to buy 2 vans for my tourism business here in Colombia. And after discussing with them, we realized that first, they do not need grants, they need debt. Second, they do not need $500,000. They might need $100,000. So we help them come up with the right plan. And once they are strong, we introduce them to international investors. All of this is available on shetrades.com. I invite you to be part of this initiative, which is pretty much global. All European women entrepreneurs can get access to all the training materials that we have. If you do not have a website, there is a place online where you can create your page, and you can, of course, be connected to buyers, investors, etc., globally. And maybe I stop here, Teresa, and come back with Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to you, Anna. Very nice explanation about She Trades. Well, and now let's go to Carolina Lopez. She is the operations specialist at the Inter-American Development Bank. Carolina, the two questions. What initiatives from your institution do you consider most interesting for women entrepreneurs in the current situation? And the second, as well as I asked to Anna, imagine a European businesswoman who wants to market her products or services through, in this case, Mujeres Conecta Américas. What benefits can this woman have?
Okay, thank you so much, Teresa, for the invitation. And I would like to take this opportunity to greet to all the business women who join us in this space. Well, about your first question, I consider that the most relevant initiative we have now is our B2B online platform, Connect Americas for Women, or Mujeres Conecta Américas. The IDB, with the support of Google, launched this initiative in 2016, and since then we have been working on two main pillars. On one side, we help women entrepreneurs to strengthen their management, business, and digital skills and their export capabilities with the objective business women can take advantage of all business opportunities and be part of the most demanding value chain. On the other hand, we connect these women entrepreneurs with real business opportunities through public and private procurement and trade opportunities we offer on the Connect Americas for Women platform and support their participation in the IDB business forums. About our first pillar, hand in hand with companies such as Google, IBM, Microsoft, Facebook, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, MasterCard, and Airbnb, we design and implement innovative face-to-face and virtual training programs tailored to the needs of business women. Here, I have to say that we have a close relationship with our entrepreneurs of Connect Americas for Women that is very important for us. So we are frequently conducting studies and surveys that allow us to identify the barriers they face and the needs they have. And with this information, we create the offer of knowledge for them with the support of our expert partners in some topics related with digital transformation, e-commerce, ICT tools, suppliers development, market intelligence, technical requirements to exports, and among others. And one of our most successful has been a virtual acceleration program that we developed in partnership with Inkai Business School and MasterCard. In this program, women entrepreneurs have access to key training sessions in financial operations, team management, business strategy, and marketing. And today, more than 4,000 business women are training to become certified. And our second pillar, where we connect women entrepreneurs with international markets, they have access to the business opportunities on the platform, and we also facilitate their participation in the IDB business forums, such as, for example, LAC Flavors, that is one of the most important food and beverage business forums in the region. And the second one is Outsource to LAC, where we connect business women with entrepreneurs from the global services sector from LAC, Asia, Europe, and North America. Today, they represent more 40% of the companies that we support from the IDB. And related with your second question, I think that Connect Americas for Women is an open platform for business women around the world. European business women can connect with our more than 180,000 business women from Latin America and the Caribbean. Here we have a very large community of women, mainly in Colombia, Mexico, Peru, and Chile, countries of the Pacific Alliance. The bloc of countries represent today the 88% of the GDP, 50% of the total trade, and attract the 45% of foreign direct investment that is very important for the commercial trade. And we also have in this platform, or we have registered entrepreneurs, investors, suppliers, buyers from all over the Americas looking to do business with women entrepreneurs around the world. So therefore, through this platform, European business women could have the opportunity to connect with more than 350,000 potential partners. And through this platform, European business women can apply to become suppliers of large corporations and governments in the Latin American and the Caribbean countries, connect with one another to explore business opportunities, participate now in virtual business matchmaking events, and have access online training tools and business support resources free of charge. I think it's very important to mention that currently, with the negative effects of COVID-19, it's important to strengthen the relationship between women entrepreneurs around the world. Strengthening commercial ties between Europe and Latin America can be key for business women overcome the economic crisis they are facing now, and I think it's very important to close the gender gap too. In this case, I know and I think that Conect Americas for Women or Mujeres Conect Americas becomes a tool that makes it possible. So my invitation for you is be part of mujeresconectamericas.com and have access of these tools that we have for you women entrepreneurs. So that's all for my part. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Thank you to you, Carolina. Thank you very much to welcome us to your platform. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. Well, and now we go to Julia Kurt. She's the president of OWIT in Lake Geneva. Hello, Julia. The two questions, like the others. What OWIT initiatives do you find most interesting for women entrepreneurs in the current situation? And what specific support can a European entrepreneur who wants to market her products or services receive from OWIT, the Organization of Women in International Trade? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teresa, and thank you everyone and to this wonderful summit who has invited me for this immensely impactful, full of information webinar. So thank you very much. I'm really delighted and I'm really, really proud to be part of this. Organization Women International Trade is an international NGO for women. And what we do, we foster and support women in business and in trade. We have got about 20 chapters all around the world, more than 2,000 members. They're all women in trade and businesses. Our organization has been founded in 1989 in the US, and mainly our chapters are in the US, Canada, in Africa a lot, and Latin America. So we've got many chapters around this. And the one and only European chapter is us, Lake Geneva one. And we hope to get more. So we have one lined up already in Brussels. UK is coming along. So we're really looking forward to onboard them as soon as possible because we need more support. And what we do, how we act. We are acting as a home for women. Women who want to do trade, women who don't know whom to reach out. We provide them contacts that mainly, and Anna is from ITC, and we're working very closely with International Trade Center. We are one of the certifiers for the She Trades program. And also I am a mentor in the mentoring program with ITC. So very, very closely, we're working together with ITC. So we're equipping our women with information, contacts, information about tax, about regulations, any laws, whatever they need, because this is our purpose of existence. How we do that? Either the member would come to us directly and we would give the information, or on a regular basis we have got events. Because if a member comes and has registered and paid for a membership fee, they have automatic access to the international OWIT. That means all around the world, they can collaborate, they can exchange ideas, best practices, they can communicate, they can support each other, because peer-to-peer support is very important nowadays, specifically during the COVID. And it's easy now, as we can see all around the world, we are over Zoom. So what is hindering us? Nothing. So you can immediately connect, and that's what we provide. We also, in terms of what women can expect from us, again, as Anna said, capacity building workshops about Soft skills like executive presence, how to speak, how to pitch your unique value proposition. Why are you different than the others? Why should they make business with you? How you can identify that. Give them a business plan. Check out the business plan. Give them some information, feedback, how to change it maybe. Where are the gaps? How can we address the gaps? Make sure that it's addressed. We also organize webinars around really internationally for Brexit, for example. What's hot, the hot topics, but also about blockchain, because we women should be up to date with everything which goes on. And blockchain technology is one of them. Digital marketing. We have organized many workshops in Geneva, inviting everyone about digital marketing. How would you use that? Or applications. How would you use applications? What is important to consider? So we really organize events globally to support our women and our members, because we are considering them are very, very important. What we have as well in Geneva, addressing the European market, any members of OIT will be eligible to have a mentor for free for a duration of 6 months. Really mentee mentor. We would do an interview. Then from our board, we would select a mentor which is applicable, and they would work together, because mentoring is important. That's what we don't do as women a lot as well. You know, we call them what, the golf club, right? So we need to create the golf club ourselves. So that's why we've got this mentor program, which is important. Ask, find the information, get more information, and collaborate. Really share experiences. And this is what OVID is providing and giving to women in Europe, but also international, because any woman who's a member of OVID will have access internationally to all our chapters. And this is what we provide as OVID. Moreover, what we also consider, we always part in panel discussions like the WTO forum, which has been cancelled this year, unfortunately. So we found it very, very sad. Last year we participated, and we are part of trade policies as well, very actively. And we are part of International Gender Champion, because we know women are not at the table once the agreements are done. We need to be at the table. And moreover, we need even drill down and go down further to the women who are doing business in Kenya. The customer persona is different there versus the women who works in Belgium, for example. So what are the needs of these women? How can we address them? The customer personas are so different. A woman maybe in a rural area might not even be able to read and write, whereas someone else has got other needs in the UK who is educated but still doesn't know how to market themselves and promote themselves. So this is what we are also, as always, try to do. Influencing, being at the table where decisions are made to make an impact. Thank you.
Beautiful explanation, Julia. I hope we will have an OWIT in Spain soon. Okay.
Yes, that would be great. Awesome. I can help you with that, Teresa. Just reach out.
Perfect. Well, and finally, Maggie. Maggie Berry is the Executive Director for Europe at WeConnect International. Maggie, as the same question as the rest of the panelists. What initiatives at WeConnect do you consider most interesting for women entrepreneurs in the current situation? And what recommendations would you give to our European businesswoman who wants to be a part of the WeConnect International certification scheme?
Absolutely. Brilliant. Thank you, Teresa. And so amazing to be part of this panel and to hear from, you know, obviously there are just so many amazing organizations out there that can support the growth and development of women-owned businesses in this region and globally. And I guess one of my key messages is to everybody out there, there's so much support. So please check everything out, have a look at the websites and see what works for your business. And by way of a short introduction to WeConnect International, the We of WeConnect stands for Women's Enterprise, and we are all about connecting women-owned businesses into the corporate supply chain. We're a corporate-led not-for-profit, and everything we're doing is about putting financial power into the hands of women through business. We work with a network of around 100 multinational corporations who are keen to buy more products and services from women-owned businesses, including on the previous panel, SAP Ariba and SAP and Google and many others. We've got a very public list on our website that you can have a look at. And what I normally say is, if you have a women-owned business that's operating in that corporate and B2B space, you know, you've got products and services that large corporates buy, then being part of WeConnect International is probably going to be pretty relevant for your business. And a women-owned business can register with us for free. And we do also offer a more formal certification, which Teresa, I will give a bit more detail on in a second or two. And everything that we're doing is really to bring together the large multinationals with the women-owned businesses through procurement opportunities. And I am one of the first to acknowledge that this is not easy. You know, this is really about big buying from small, and that's really hard. But we see great initiatives and great support and a great drive from a lot of the corporations that we work with, who are really keen to meet, connect, and build relationships with women-owned businesses who could be a potential future supplier. But you know, they're not quick programs. These are things that take time. You know, pitching your business, say, to an Intel or an IBM or a Pfizer, it doesn't happen overnight. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I want to, you know, do this, you have to build it into your wider strategy around how long is it going to take, what that process is, all the things that I'm going to need in place to work with a large corporate. But you know, we're a women's economic empowerment campaign. We want to see more business going into the hands of women. There's been different stats shared already. We estimate, you know, women influence about 85% of consumer purchasing decisions, but yet less than, you know, 1% of corporate government spend globally goes to women-owned businesses all around the world. So we're on a mission to shift this, even just to 2% or 3%. It's billions of dollars of spend, but spend that would be going into the hands of women that will transform their lives and the lives of their local communities. So I'm based in the UK and I run our campaign in Europe. And we are a global organization. We do have teams all around the world. But for women-owned businesses based here, you would be liaising with me and my team. And one of the key things that we do is that I'm just going to use IBM as the example. IBM will let us know when they're buying something or what they're looking for. And then my team's role is to identify one or more women-owned businesses that we can put forward for those tender opportunities. So it's a very practical piece in that whole entrepreneurial landscape. And all the time we're doing this matching and putting forward businesses. We've done a whole series of actually some business introduction sessions just this afternoon with women-owned businesses in Europe, and with I think about 20 different multinationals, enabling the women-owned businesses to present themselves. But one of the elements that we offer, and Teresa, you asked me specifically about this, is certification. And the WeConnect International certification, it's a global accreditation to categorically confirm that a women-owned business is majority women-owned, managed, and controlled. And the reason why certification is there is that large multinationals, again, I'm going to use the example of IBM, they want to know how much spend they have with diverse-owned businesses, including women-owned businesses. It might also include ethnic minority-owned or LGBT-owned. But for WeConnect International, we provide a certification for women-owned businesses. It's a very formal process, very detailed. We look at a lot of information about the business, but we're looking at that it's owned, majority women-owned, that the day-to-day management and decisions are being made by women, and ultimately that the control is sitting in female hands. So these standards are set globally. It's the norm. If you know about supplier diversity programs in the United States, they match the programs in the United States, and so a multinational corporation is able to compare its spend globally. I know there's often questions saying things like, "Oh, you can't ask these questions in Europe." It's not. For us, that's not the case. This is our raison d'etre. We're here to have this central database of women-owned businesses and to offer this certification should women-owned businesses be interested in it. And it's definitely a tool that the corporations use. There's lots more information available on the WeConnect International website. And our registration platform is available in 10 languages. There's lots of European languages in there, including Spanish, German, Polish, Italian, and more. And there's lots of information in different languages on the main website. So really my key message, if you have a women-owned business that is operating, as I say, in that corporate and B2B space, then having a look at the WeConnect International community and that global community is very relevant. And a number of the other panelists have said these organizations, not only are we trying to connect women to larger business opportunities with multinationals or governments, there is a whole world of opportunity out there simply connecting with other women-owned businesses and how businesses can come together to provide bigger products and services for these corporations as too. So don't underestimate that, and we can absolutely create connections not only within We Connect International, but through OE and through other organizations and other networks. But I would say get out there, check out what's out there to support your business and make sure that you're participating, because I would probably say the same for any organization. The more you get involved, the more stuff happens, and you can make the change happen for your business.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you very much. I think the information that you have given regarding platforms and collaborative initiatives today, they are going to be, I believe there's going to be very useful and very helpful for the women entrepreneurs who are participating today. Thank you very much.